didn't it? My sister says that it's because the election took up so much of our time. Andy, just wait a second. Sorry, dog. That Thanksgiving snuck up upon us, which meant that Christmas is sneaking up upon us. Either way, I've decided to adjust my reading schedule accordingly. My friend Amy, over at From the Dusty Bookshelf, and I have been wanting to read Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov for some time. But because we're both busy, we're going to be doing it sometime in January. Also, I realized that reading about a pedophilic relationship might put a damper on my holiday spirit. I don't have that much to begin with, so I need to salvage all that I can. So that made me start thinking. Also, because I recently read Atonement, and I hated it, meant that I need to start reading books that I do like. It was just an accident. Well, it wasn't actually an accident, but it wasn't a deliberate decision. I wasn't thinking, which is never something that goes well. So I have here 4 books that I would like to read during the month of December that I think will make me perhaps non-cynical enough to enjoy the Christmas season. Also Hanukkah, if you are Jewish. Also, no holiday if you don't celebrate any holidays. I don't know. I don't understand. Anyways, first book I have is La Moitié des Authors. I don't speak French, I'm sorry. But this is like the complete original mythologies about King Arthur and his knights. I mentioned in another video how I wanted to read The Fall of Arthur by John Steinbeck, but I realized, you know what I should do before that? I should familiarize myself with the legends of King Arthur. And what better time than the midst of winter to remind yourself about the Knights of Camelot? None. None, I would say. So, alas, I shall do that. Next books that I have take place kind of in the 1800s. I don't know what it is about British people in the 1800s, but that reminds me of Christmas. So, next 2 books I have are by Thomas Hardy, Return of the Native, and Tessa d'Ubervilles. And yes, I would like to read both of these. For some reason, I like Thomas Hardy, even though I don't like a lot of other Victorian... I'm not a huge fan of Victorian novels, like, I don't hate them, but they're just not my favorite, possibly because I know, like, way, way too much about the slums in Victorian times, so it's, like, hard for me to take their problems seriously. But I like him. All of these are Signet classics, by the way. Just notice that. Ta-da! Look at that. It's a miracle! Ta-da-da! Sorry, my sister's also texting me. I did not plan for this video accordingly, in case you can't tell. Also, last and finally, I have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I know. So I've never read this version in full. Like, I read portions when I was a kid, and I also read, like, the abridged versions, and there was also, I had a bunch of different abridged versions that I got from my library, and my church library had a lot of the abridged versions. I don't know. I read a lot of terrible books when I was younger because I didn't have access to good ones, or books that were way too mature for me. Like, my church library, they would have, like, super, super Christian books that were, like, really terribly written, or they would have some classics that were, like, way too mature for me, but they were classics, so I could read them. So, like, the Aeneid, pretty graphic stuff. Also, I did read Gilgamesh. Oh gosh. How old was I? I was in 7th grade when I read Gilgamesh, and I am forever scarred. If you haven't read Gilgamesh, it is an entertaining read. However, that was how I learned what prostitution was. It was not fun asking the librarian to look up that word for me in a dictionary. Anyways, so this book is just really friendly and happy and has lots of Christmas stories. And look, there's even a quote about Christmas on the front. "Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents," grumbled Joe, lying on the rug. Ta-da! So I thought, maybe these are some books I could read during the month of December. They're not too long either. They go pretty quickly. So, like, during finals and everything like that, I'm not going to have a ton of time. I have used this little slight period of time that I had over Thanksgiving break to finally read books that I've been wanting to read, but haven't been able to because of schoolwork and life and work. But, yeah. Anyways, I know I kind of, like, rambled on about this, but I'm still in denial over a lot of the stuff that's happened. So, yes. In my mind, it's not December. In my mind, it's going to be November 5th for like the next year.